All our viewers, welcome to the program. This is the Limelight. My name is Prince Apollo. I will connect directly with Freddie Egesa. And Freddie Egesa is a private investigator with an experience spanning more than 15 years in these matters of investigations. Freddie Egesa, welcome to the program. Let's hear from you and from your experience. Do you think these methods of police handling suspects in this way have a problem or not? And what is the problem?
Good evening, Sol TV. Good evening, Apollo. Good evening, viewers. My name is Freddie David Egesa, though Apollo sometimes takes away the David, I don't know for what reason. Yes, I think my experience could stretch to almost 40 years. I think almost all my life I've done investigations, and I'm clocking, I'm kind of peeping into the 7th floor. That is around, I'm chasing the 70 years. So that's what I've done almost all my life. For one, I thank God that we have had a fairly peaceful festive season. And on that note also, I would love to thank the police under Kagaba and the sister forces for a very, very good job which they have done to make sure that Ugandans are safe on the road, Ugandans are safe in their houses. Yes, to a certain extent, you know, we have to understand that Uganda had been invaded by platoons of very organized, sophisticated, intelligence-led thuggery that some people decided to create warlordism. There are people who have decided to recruit young people, very young, even as young as 15 years, into platoons. Platoons, we are talking about 20 to 50 of men or women, or a team of 20 to 50 with, if it was soldiering, that's a platoon. So we are now, if there is any invasion, what they call a magari and other things, you see that it is just a swarm of so many robbers. They have invaded, they have attacked people in jams, they've attacked people on weddings, they've attacked people around churches. So definitely with the security there has been a very big problem. And we think the police has done a very good job. Nevertheless, here when we talk about this particular incident, we should first of all understand what is extrajudicial killing. Now, extrajudicial killing is mainly related to people in authority. Now, people in authority, one, because police leads the duty of keeping law and order. So the first thing we look at is law. What is the law in this essence? That every human being, whether he has committed a very visible offense, he has a right to be tried. The matter should be investigated. He has a right to be tried, and then eventually the judiciary is the only area where power has been given to sentence someone to any punishment, be it death, be it incarceration for many years or for many months. That is the work of judiciary. It has never been the work of any government or any institution. Even the executive, even parliament cannot choose that Egesa should die or Mary should die. So this is where we are supposed to look at. As analysts, we are supposed to help people understand what exactly could have happened. Now, when you look at, I kind of closely followed Onyango's narration, and he said that I think there are 3 incidents of shooting that kind of culminated into 6 deaths. One, we are looking at, he talked about when an officer, when a policeman, when a soldier, when an officer, a law enforcement officer can open lethal fire to kind of distinguish or kill somebody. Now, there are 2 things here. One, we look at the right to protection. A soldier, a policeman has a right to protect his life. In fact, as much as one may think about it, we'll talk about a situation that a policeman should not allow his life to go just because of another life. That point taken, then we go to what were the visible threats in this situation. First and foremost, this operation was intelligence-led, meaning that the intelligence must have known the numbers possible. At least they had a guess about the numbers, meaning that they adequately deployed. Secondly, they could have possibly also got information about how these people were moving, that they were using borders. Now, what could have been a situation, a problem, was how armed were these people. Now, when we look at the resultant after they have been killed, 2 pangas were recovered at the scene, meaning that even if there was a threat, a panga cannot be carried by so many people. There were only 2 people who could have been a threat, and the 4 possibly were not a threat at all. Because a threat should be visible. A threat is not imagined. You cannot imagine that I thought this man had a gun, then I fired at him. So, to me, I still believe that the police has done a great job around criminals. But at the same time, I cannot applaud them on this. Not because they did not possibly pick the right people, but I think there's some kind of high-handedness which you cannot allow. We have to teach our young people that shedding blood has to be authorized. Shedding blood should be there should be well-demonstrated threats. You know, if you're playing around with allowing the young people to kill each other, you should get to know what happens to Israel now. Israel, when they were killing Jesus, they said, Pilate had refused to kill Jesus. He said, no, let his blood be on us and our children. You see how many, it haunted them, I think, up to 1947, and up to now there's still death. So, I think we have to tell the young people today that if you are, like especially the police and the army, if someone is a criminal, yes, he could have killed so many people, and you believe you have all that information, but don't take his life, because by doing that you're also becoming a criminal. You're also doing it the wrong way. In this case, we are saying an operation that is intelligence-led. That means it almost has an upper hand above and over the criminal. Now, in this way, we always say we would rather leave a criminal free than killing so many other people. I'm not blaming them, but what I'm saying is that under the circumstances, the real circumstances do not reveal that the threat was so immense that we could have lost 6 people. You know, the law should be about reformation. We want to reform these people. They could have been criminals, and I'm sure there should be guys around 20 years, 18 years, 23 years. There are so many people in Uganda who are very useful now. Some of them even very high, well placed in society, who are criminals. We know them, some of us who have been here for so many years. And because they were handled in a proper, well-prescribed, constitutional way, we now have them as very useful people. So, personally, I applaud the police for getting these people, but I cannot applaud them for killing them extrajudicially.
I guess we have seen Patrick Onyango applauding the officers for this successful operation. But let's talk about what could be the motivation behind these killings. Can it be anything to do with the training of police officers or people who are deployed for this specific operation? Or what could be the motivation behind these killings?
I think the main problem could be, you know, with the soldiering and policing, the main thing is it's command and control. Of course, I've seen, you know, if they are poor, if they are like ill-trained, they would be killing so many other people. In fact, they would have opened fire and even killed several other civilians. I can see that they were precise on who they were killing. That means they are trained. But at the same time, what orders did they get? Did they get an order to eliminate? Did they get a bit high-handed? Now, we were talking about investigation. The problem may be who is going to investigate them, who is going to condemn them, who is going to restrain them, because literally, as elders of this nation, we cannot allow this kind of indiscipline. We cannot allow this kind of high-handedness to go on. People should shoot, a soldier, a policeman should shoot where he believes that his life is in danger. Now, if there is a situation that someone is fleeing, we know what to go for. We go for the legs. If you miss the legs, too bad. You don't go for the heart because someone is fleeing, is running away. Now, I heard of one girl who was saying someone was told to lie down and then shot on that. Of course, anybody can say anything at one time, but peradventure, this girl was at the scene and she's narrating a very maybe a correct kind of narration. We are saying if someone has been ordered to lie down and he goes down, that means he has been subdued. So there is no reason to open fire on him. You have to find a way. Of course, you may not move to him immediately, unless maybe if he behaves like he's pulling something in the hand from his clothes. But at the same time, this was broad daylight, I think. So whereby they were in very clear visibility. I still believe that our officers can do better.
I guess let me again try to dig deeper. As an investigator, you deal with evidence, and evidence is crucial in your work. And considering that we live in a country where the levels of corruption are very, very high, even in security agencies, I'll ask you, do you think this could be a pre-planned move, possibly to cover or kill evidence?
What I know with what is happening with policemen, of course, these guys are also fatigued because they never went for Christmas because everybody was on standby and they are stretched from one corner to the other because also the thugs are so many, the teams are so many. Yes, there could be that kind of fatigue, but at the same time, I still believe that these were criminals, yes, because they are, at least they were allowed, this were opened up and they were allowed to create a form of an attack, which was eventually dealt with, yes. But at the same time, I believe that dealing with them and clearing them, we lost a lot of other informations. Now, we lost the commanders, because they always have commanders, they always have coordinations. Now, if you kill all the 6, more especially in a situation that you can kill those 2 maybe who had pangas, that is if they were holding the pangas, and then get the 6 for further investigations. To me, as an investigator, I believe there was a loss.
Question, Freddie Egesa. I asked if there's a possibility that possibly some people who were on the operation were planning to kill the evidence, because from Patrick Onyango's narrative, he says these people had stolen more than 200 or 300 millions, and who knows? What do you think?
Of course, in an operation, all of the people, think of, I'm just trying to imagine, I'm just trying to think aloud that this operation was carried over by officers who are possibly beyond maybe 30. And you can see that the shootings were at different locations. You never know, of course, investigations is very important to find out who they were linked to. They still have phones, anybody, that information can be lead. Yes, there are times when you have had some kind of rogue police officers or rogue officers, yes. But I think let's leave that to investigation and find out where does. I just request that police is very clear about this investigation, because a mistake definitely has been done and has to be corrected.
Freddie Egesa, this is not the first time we are witnessing incidents of shooting suspects. I can juggle your mind back to the incidents in Kayunga where Ronald Sebulime was shot immediately and he was already handcuffed. Due to the incidents of 2020, where one boxer, Zebula Mando, was also shot almost in a similar way. And every time these incidents happen, the police administrators, the heads of police, and like in this case, the Minister for Internal Affairs, General Kaindo Tafire, has promised and pledged that there will be investigations. Can we expect much from such investigations on why and how these people were killed?
You know, of late, that's why maybe you don't see so, I used to cry foul so much about how the police was operating, but I think there is some kind of confidence being built now. That's why I say that we had a fairly peaceful season. And two, I think Yakagawas, the CIA, that is the Damliras and the Magambos, they seem to be doing a fair job. So I don't have any doubts, but I think they have a duty too to do that. They have a duty to do that. There is improvement now in security. There is which everybody can visibly see. But at the same time, they have a duty to the Ugandans to literally give them it. But I think let's wait up to when they come up with their report, and we shall come up to analyze it. And if that's when definitely we have to give them a credit, or maybe give them a 9.
From me, Freddie, when do you people, private investigators, come in? For instance, in this particular incident, do you take interest, or you need to have somebody to, of course, contract you to do an investigation, a private investigation? When do you also make a contribution to, of course, delivering justice to those who are grieved?
Yeah. Yeah, there are cases where you have seen me in so many cases, the Sobi cases and whatever. Yeah, there are cases where we come in as nationalists. There are cases we come in as nationalists, but in this case, literally, we're very interested. I'm very interested. My team is very interested, and I think we are picking leaves here and there. That's why, if in case we may not, because all the evidence is there and cannot be changed. All what we have to do is we want to look at the police analysis at the end of the day, what they come up with to say exactly about what happened, who shot, why did he shoot. For instance, if that is true that someone used the pistol and shot 3 times, why did he shoot 3 times on the head, more especially on a pass, or when you're shooting a person who has almost been rendered powerless, or who is not dangerous. All this will have to come up, but that's why I said we are picking leaves, and we will able criticize or applaud their investigations.
We look forward to the reports from your investigations, Freddie Egesa and your group. But of course, we still have confidence in our forces to do their job and, of course, take this case to its conclusion. Well, let's wait and see how it works out. I must thank you so much, Freddie Egesa, for your time. Thank you so much for, of course, bringing these issues out and giving us your professional opinion. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much, our viewers. That's it from us here. We can wait, and we'll be returning back next Friday with another edition of The Limelight. My name is Prince Apollo. God bless you. God bless Uganda.
Download the Salt Media app from the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store.